All right, some breaking news. New evidence emerging in the alleged Biden bribery scheme. The GOP releasing the bombshell testimony transcript of Hunter Biden's ex-business partner, Devon Archer. The testimony reveals then Vice President Biden played a pivotal role in Hunter's businesses. Let's bring in Florida Congressman Byron Donalds, who sits on that all-important House Oversight Committee. Congressman, good to have you. Thank you for being here on a very important day. Besides the fact that Trump's has been arraigned, this testimony that we finally see the transcript of, everything we suspected, sir, your initial thoughts on after seeing that.
My initial thoughts are it really just confirms what we were already finding out. First, Hunter Biden was the bag man. Second, they were selling influence. Third, it was so easy to get Joe Biden on the phone. And keep this in mind, he's vice president of the United States. Now, look, I understand he talks to his family every day, and that's to be commended. But let's not lose sight of the fact that if you're on the phone this easily with a bunch of people in all these rooms and you have no idea, then you're a dummy. And if you do have an idea, then you're corrupt. Either way, it doesn't look good for the country. Yeah,
it's not a good look to have a president who is a corrupt dummy. I'm agreeing with you completely. You know what we did? We had a little fun. All those times that Joe Biden, as vice president, as wannabe president, as president, saying I had nothing to do with Hunter's business. I have no idea what he's doing with his business. Before I roll this, I want everyone to realize that there was a smoking gun that we saw in Tucker's interview with Devon Archer yesterday. We have the letter that Vice President Joe Biden wrote thanking Hunter's business partner. These guys were in business together, thanking Devon Archer. Meanwhile, he was saying this. Watch.
Hunter Biden, your son's...
there is no controversy about my son. It's all a lie. It's a flat lie.
I don't know what he was doing. I know he was on the board. I found out he was on the board after he was on the board, and that was it. There's not one single bit of evidence, not one little tiny bit, to suggest anything done was wrong.
There's not been one scintilla of evidence that my son ever interfered, that I ever asked me anything, that I ever got involved in anything.
Yeah, Congressman, I'd like people to note at the very bottom, Biden, did his initials. He said, really glad you two guys are together, Devon Archer and my son Hunter, the business partners. Your thoughts?
Joe Biden has known the entire time. But Joe Biden is an expert liar. He's been lying for 50 years to the American people. That's nothing new to him. But let's make sure everybody understands this. When he was vice president, that's when these 20 shell companies were set up, when he was vice president. When he was vice president and Barack Obama gave him basically operational authority over several countries, who was on Air Force Two all the time? Hunter Biden was with him all the time. Remember the WhatsApp text message? I'm sitting here next to my father. We haven't gotten our money, and we're the Bidens. We never forget. He apparently was in Rehoboth Beach at the beach house sitting next to Joe Biden when he sent it. All of this stuff leads into where we are right now. The Hunter Biden sweetheart deal that gets blown up because they tried to stick the FARA violations in the gun charge. You're telling me the White House counsel and Joe Biden and Merrick Garland didn't know about that? Of course they knew. At the end of the day, there is a web of corruption surrounding Joe Biden. There's no business that is operating from this family except influence peddling, and that is an impeachable offense.
Important comment right there at the end of that, Congressman. There's been floated the idea, MTG's been on the show, in fact, this week, who said it's time to impeach Biden, but there are a couple members of the Republican, the GOP, on the House side that aren't in favor of impeaching a guy who you called a corrupt liar, and I agree with you, and then pointed out that Hunter being the bag man for some financial transactions. What's it going to take for those 5 or 6 members, Republican members of the House, who aren't ready to impeach this guy? And you want to call him out if you wish.
Well, I think for some of my colleagues, what they're going to need to be able to see is the full chain of evidence. And look, let's be clear. What Nancy Pelosi did to Donald Trump with impeachment was a disaster for our country. She impeached him over a phone call, by the way, which was actually 100% factual. Now that we have all the facts about the corruption of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden with Burisma, what we have done in the Oversight Committee and in the Judiciary Committee and the Ways and Means Committee is demonstrate all the track record of events, track record of money flow and track record of corruption. So I believe from my colleagues who are hesitant because of how the politics might look, when the evidence is clear to the House of Representatives and to the American people, I think they're going to do the right thing.
Congressman, you want to see that little thing we put together again with Joe Biden denying the very letter he wrote side by side? I'd like to see it again. Folks, you want to see it? Roll it.
Put it up.
Hunter Biden, your son's.
There is no controversy about my
overseer
son.
doing
It's
just
all a
the
lie.
questions.
It's a flat lie.
I don't know what he was doing. I know he was on the board. I found out he was on the board after he was on the board, and that was it. There's not one single bit of evidence, not one little tiny bit, to suggest anything done was wrong.
There's not been one scintilla of evidence that my son ever interfered, that I ever asked me anything, that I ever got involved in anything.
Not one single tiny bit with his face next to that letter that he signed. Final thought, Congressman.
Eric, if I may, I'm going to give you two pieces of evidence. Evidentiary piece number one, confidential human source for the FBI told the FBI that the Burisma owner knew that they were giving the Bidens $5 million to get Mr. Shokin, the prosecutor in Ukraine, fired. Joe Biden bragged about withholding $1 billion in funds from Ukraine if they didn't fire the prosecutor. That occurred. Piece of evidence number two, you remember when Joe Biden was beating his chest after the Russian invasion of Ukraine about all the sanctions against Russian oligarchs? There's one oligarch that's left off the list. That is the widow of the Russian mayor, who's an oligarch, who, by the way, was at Cafe Milano with then Vice President Joe Biden. And who was at that dinner? Hunter Biden.
Yep.
So there's the evidence for the nutty Democrats out there who don't believe that Joe Biden is absolutely corrupt.
Well, we're going to leave it right there, Congressman. Appreciate your time. And you can send me any of those names if you want to secretly, and we'll expose them for you. Congressman Byron Donalds, keep up the great work. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.